All right, everybody. Welcome back. 77 Podcast Show live. Doing it solo again, brought to you by Miller Lite, the most flavorful water you can ever drink in the United States or any part of the world. Best sparkling water. I believe they might have got those ideas, the Bud Seltzers from this. Which I need to take a drink after this game. Where do I start? Let's start from the beginning. This is the way they probably should have came out against the Magic, who are way below 500, but they come out kind of strong with the Cavaliers, who have a great team, two young guys in the post, and really they just poor turnovers. It's almost like they can't play 48 minutes down the stretch. Cross court passes, in lanes, those are never good ideas. They're always going to get deflected. Decision making, can't really teach that. You just got to kind of keep on them and say, don't do that. But they keep doing that. Our Blazer insider, Mike Wally, just let me know we might need a Miles Turner. We might need a Jamison Crowder, someone that can just play some solid defense. If you saw the beginning of the game, 4 easy lobs right over Nurk. Nurk was like, what am I doing? And, watching the game, you're just like, you got to adjust that part. You can't just let lobs go over you. And before I forget, Terry Porter's back with the team as an ambassador. So welcome back, Terry Porter. Also would like to let Lamar Hurd. He left the broadcast not feeling too well, so I hope you get better, Lamar Hurd. And to welcome back, Terry Porter. Back to the game, it's also a rotation. When you have a rotation of Gary Payton, Jabari Walker, Jabari Walker's doing what he needs to do. Gary Payton's, he's only played a few games, so we can give him the benefit of the doubt. But we're also missing Nazir Little and Justice Winslow, so they were a heavy part of the rotation early on. You go 10-4, but you drop 2 games under 500. And this is a club, I'm not saying they should have beat the Cavaliers, but this is a club they should have. This almost felt like you're at home. You gotta play. You gotta have some heart. You gotta get the crowd fired up. You gotta play off the crowd, and just seem kind of like, okay, they got the lead for a little bit, and now they're just going to go downhill. They're just going to make some turnovers and make some bad choices, miss some baskets, and next thing you know, they're down 8 points, and with 50 seconds left to go. And I felt like that was kind of the way the game was going to go this evening, and it did. And now they dropped down in the standings. I still want to say this is better than I thought they would be doing this season at this time. We're at the halfway point. All-Star games are coming up. Sharp looks like he's going to be in the dunk contest, so we'll get some reps there from the Blazers. But I don't know if it's too early to call, but this could be. I mean, that's a good point. Mr. Wally brought up if this could be McCollum and Dame 2.0 with Ant, because Ant's kind of inconsistent. His shooting's a little off some nights, and he takes it to the hoop some nights, but he kind of like CJ, because I always counted CJ to have some off nights or get into the playoffs and not really do anything and let Dame kind of take over. But you need that, 1-1-2 punch in the NBA now. You need another guy that can score consistently 20 points a game. Dame had 50 tonight, but that wasn't enough against these young Cavs. You got to take the ball to the hole, big guy, Nurk. You just got to throw it down. Too many travels, too much of this, too much of that, and you lose. So Trenton Watford not in the game. Keon Johnson not even in the game. So it was Jabari Walker, Eubank, Gary Payton II, and Shaedon Sharpe. And I like to get to the Shaedon Sharpe. That was an awesome putback, but it wasn't. It was in the hole. It was above the rim. That was pretty. everyone was like, whoa, where'd that come from? But that didn't count, but that was awesome to watch. Let's see, what else can we get to here? Ant Simons had played 32 minutes, so it's into the 30s for the starters. 20 minutes for Sharp, 21 minutes for Gary Payton, 16 and 8, and that's it. I don't know if it's going to change when Winslow gets back. I don't know if it's going to change if Little gets back or if we're going to be better. So this is where you kind of want to try to make a move. I know there's in the scroll underneath, it's Fred Van Fleet and DeMar Rosen. You're just going to hear stuff like that. People are going to throw stuff out and names out, but what the Blazers do need is another big guy, some length. They need somebody that can stop the ball, play defense besides Gary Payton. It almost seems like Dame is just kind of in cruise control, not making so many, great decisions. Like I said, last show, his career high in turnovers right now. You just can't be making that stuff down the stretch. So I'm not going to be disappointed if they get into the play-in and that's what they're at, the play-in, and then they go ahead and make it or make it. I'm sorry, I thought there was some breaking news there with the Blazers, but it's not. No breaking news. It's with the Dolphins and Tua. You gotta go ahead and I think make that move. Jay Crowder is probably a good choice. I don't think you do something big right now. I think you do that in the offseason when you have a training camp and you can play and get to know and work out a system, because this system looks good. It's just they're not executing. They're just not executing very well. And I have been not a big Nurk fan. I like him personally, but his just play is just, come on. If you're playing in a game and you're on him, I saw he and Dame kind of were just like, hey, let's figure this out. Oh, yeah, 4 more lobs, 5 more lobs, lob passes right over. We did see Kevin Love. He came home. Maybe Kevin Love, but I wouldn't want to leave that Cavs team. That Cavs team looked like you're playing at the rec league. You can cruise along. Wow, we're fine. We're gonna win this game. Let's just do it at the end. So Mitchell goes to the Cavs and changes around. I love Mobley. I love Allen, Jared Allen. That's great. That's a great. That's the kind of big guy I would like the Blazers to have. Someone like that, an Allen and Mobley. I don't know if we need another guard. We don't need another guard. We need a power forward or center. So to wrap it up, Blazers lose 5 in a row. Not looking good going into got a couple more, I think 4 more weeks for the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens. And if they can get this together, you hear they're in a funk and they're in the, they don't know what's going on. I mean, it's very obvious. You start off the game and you kind of go one-on-one. There's no movement. You're not moving the ball with Sharp. So I'm going to also lay some of this on the coaching staff. You gotta switch it up. Maybe not such a tight rotation. You go 4 or 5 deep during the regular season and see what you got. See what you got out of some of these other players. I know you're hurt. I know you got hurt players, but you can't afford to wait for Justice and Little. The West is too strong. So I expect Joe Cronin to go out and make a deal. I really do. I think we'll probably see it before the trade deadline, maybe a week before. I don't know if it's going to be really huge or some or, it's not going to be a Clyde Drexler to Houston Valentine's Day trade. Also, I think when I was off on the holiday, I've watched the Blazers since I was a little kid, since 19. Let's just go 77. I'm coming up on the 5-0 here pretty soon. And Clyde Drexler has never been a person that was out front. He was the face of the Blazers, but he was not the voice of the Blazers. So those people in the days of social media calling out Clyde for not doing I don't want to see Clyde on an Instagram or Twitter publicly thanking Damian or congratulating Damian for becoming the all-time leader. I think it would be more cool in the way he did it. Just call him up privately and just say, hey, good job. I watch your games. So shout out to Clyde for being classy and doing it that way under the radar and not drawing attention. Unfortunately, in these days, it did draw attention for not saying anything, but way to stay off Twitter, way to stay off Facebook, Clyde. Appreciate that. Terry Porter's back with the team, so maybe we'll see a good run. Terry TP can talk him into some stories and tell him what to do. I went to the Larry Steele basketball camp. Terry Porter was 4 years there at the Larry Steele basketball camp, so Terry Porter knows how to do it, although all the kids just want him to dunk, but he did give some good advice I think he's probably 5'12", maybe 6 foot. But he and Billups do play similar, and they do have a similar philosophy. So maybe TP in the locker room can rub off on some of the young fellas. So hopefully they stay together. But let's get this losing streak out and get back to a good rotation of a deeper rotation. That's what I'm asking for. So if this was a press conference, I would ask Chauncey what he's thinking about his rotation and why he's sticking with this kind of rotation. And then I would ask if he knew who washes all the socks. Do they have socks? I'm stealing this from Bo Deasy. I watched the Hard Knocks, and they gave tips to the guys that do laundry. But do you get new socks or are they old socks? That's the question I would ask in the press conference. New socks every time, new shoes every time. Do those go hand in hand? And where do the old socks go? Do they get donated? I would like to have a Blazer press release on where those socks go. Other than that, I do have something down there about some sort of O.I-5 change and some ridiculous thing about saying that could give the Blazers cause to move out of town if they switch out the I-5 off-ramp and the design is disruptive. There is a point. A lot of people walk and, take public transportation to the games. So there's no need to add more car traffic, but I'm no ODOT manager. So if you have any comments about that, leave it. If they should just, ODOT should just leave that alone and not have a weird. I saw the configuration in the Willamette Week. It was kind of weird. Now they had people going off. I know that exit. I'm from the Gorge, so I always drove past that and gone on the next exit, and it was always a weird exit to get on there to go on to the 84. But I hope that's not any kind of controversy coming up, because the Blazers are still owned and trust from Jody Allen, so they will have a lot to say about that, but I hope it doesn't become a big story, and I hope they just focus on what's going on with players. So I'm going to do a show, I think, this weekend, non-live taped, and it will be the 77 podcast show in studio. I'll give you some trade rumors and up-to-date information on who those players are and maybe what they should do, and try to get an interview or two. All right, everybody, have a safe Thursday night and a great Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll see you again live right after the game on the 77 podcast show live. Good night, everybody.